Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's event. My name is Richard Wild, and I'm with Penguin Random House. Ooh, fun video there. I've just a few housekeeping items to touch on before I turn things over to today's fantastic speakers. Just as a reminder, please keep your audio and video muted throughout the session, or we will kick you out, and we don't want to do that. If you'd like to submit questions for our speakers, you can email them to my co-producer, John, that's jclinton@penguinrandomhouse.com. I'll also be reminding you of his email address in the chat. The chat can be activated at the bottom of the screen. I see a lot of people have already figured out how to do that. And you can also comment along and applaud for the speakers as you see fit throughout that same chat. And for the best viewing experience, if you're on a computer, we suggest finding the gallery view button in the upper right-hand corner of your Zoom window. And once you're in gallery view, if you hover over any of the black tiles with a name on it, there's a blue ellipsis. You can click on that, and there's an option that says hide non-video participants, and that should clear up your screen so you're only seeing me right now. If you're on a mobile device, you can swipe left to access gallery view, and you can hide non-video participants by tapping more and going into your meeting settings. And doing that is definitely helpful because then you will only see our speakers once they come out onto the digital stage. So now I'm going to ask Kaylee Paget, she's with Women and Children First, to open her video and audio and to come on out. Hello, Kaylee. Okay, I'm now going to turn things over to you.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Kaylee. I'm a bookseller at Women and Children First. We're so glad that you all could join us today for the celebration of the virtual release of Dancing at the Pity Party, a Dead Mom graphic memoir by Tyler Fetter. This book is breathtaking, poignant, as mentioned in the chat earlier. You will need tissues, but at the end it's such a refreshing read. So thank you so much. I'd like to introduce, so what's going to happen today is Tyler will be in conversation with her sister Cody, which is going to be amazing. And then after that, we'll have time for some audience questions as mentioned earlier. And then I'll come back and we can get started on that. Now I'd love to begin by introducing Tyler. Tyler Fetter is a full-time illustrator based in Chicago. In 2012, Tyler began posting her artwork online, and very quickly, within 5 years, her illustration company, Roaring Softly, became recognizable for its mix of pop culture art and intersectional feminism. It's incredible. She's illustrated for Netflix, Comedy Central, ESPN, among others. I'd love to welcome Tyler and her sister Cody to the conversation. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for coming. This is the coolest thing ever.
So you guys obviously know Tyler. I'm Cody, and I'm so honored to be able to chat with Ty today. But before we do, Tyler.
We have a little surprise for you. So for those of you who have read the book, you already know this. And for those who haven't, this is not a real spoiler. I'm covering up the other page. But our younger sister, we're in a family of 3 girls. Our youngest sister, Spencer, she plays songs and writes them about life and emotion and grief and all that stuff. So I thought it would be really special for her to play a song for you. She wrote this literally like 3 days ago or something.
Yeah.
And I've been freaking out over how great it is.
And it's just extra special because Spencer taught herself to play like literally right after our mom died. And so it was like just this like way that she took this like horrible situation and made something like beautiful. So yeah.
So without further ado, here's Spencer Gibbons playing Looking Up.
Hi, I'm Tyler's sister, Spencer, and I'm going to play you a song that I wrote about trying to find little pieces of joy even when things can sometimes be really hard. So it's called Looking Up.
It's hard to wrap my head around just why, if it'll end, why should I even try? Oh, oh, oh. When every day feels something like the last, I spend my days forgetting all the past. Oh, oh, oh. I think it's sad, so sad. I'm spiraling down, down, down. But I just looked up, 'cause I heard a bird singing in the tree. And I think he was singing just for me. And my mom said to look for the first signs of spring, so I'll take what I can get. I looked up and saw the sun shining down through the leaves, and I swear it was shining just for me. I thought how beautiful just to be down here on the ground looking up. I check the news and fall right through the floor. I hear the sirens and sink down some more. Oh, oh, oh. I'm feeling helpless, I can't catch my breath. How can I ever know I did my best? Oh, oh, oh. I'm feeling blue, so blue. What good can I ever do? But I just looked up, 'cause I saw purple flowers in the tree. And I think that they bloomed just for me. And my mom said to look for the first signs of spring, so I'll take what I can get. I looked up and saw my sweetheart smiling down at me. And my heart filled up with certainty. I thought how beautiful just to be down here on the ground looking up. You know there's a whole lot of life left to live. There's a whole lot of love left to give. There's a whole lot of blue and a whole lot of sad, but it's not all bad. 'Cause I just looked up and I heard a bird singing in a tree. Pretty sure he was singing just for me. And my mom said to look for the first signs of spring, so I'll take that. I looked up and saw the sun shining down through the leaves, and I swear it was shining for me. I thought how beautiful just to be down here on the ground looking up. There's a night sky full of mysteries, infinite undiscovered galaxies. So no matter the cost, every time I feel lost, I'd be much better off looking up.
Man, I didn't think I would need to already.
Handle it.
I can't. When are we ever not crying? It's just
I highly recommend having a sister who can play guitar and sing, because I'm always like calling her and saying, you should do a cover of this song I'm into so I can hear like your version of it. And then she looks up the chords and it's really the best.
Totally. I completely agree. I'm really glad I also have a sister that can do that. So, yeah. Okay. Well, Spence, thank you so much for that. I guess we should probably get started. What do you think?
Let's get started.
Let's do it. So, I guess I should just start by saying again how just like unbelievably proud I am and honored to be even in this situation with you right now. Obviously, like, this is a huge deal, but also it's just so not surprising, like, that you did this. So anyway, I guess we'll start with how the heck are you doing? Like, how do you feel right now?
This is it's a real whirlwind.
I was gonna say, like, whirlwind is the word.
I never would have guessed that this would be how my dead mom book was coming into the world, that it would be when people are dying everywhere. Not to make light of what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I make light of everything. That's what this whole book literally is.
Totally.
But yeah, I've just been so touched by every message I've gotten from people. Like, I don't know what to do with it. I like want to respond to every person with like the exact right thing to say to like make them not be sad or relate to the book anymore. But I just feel so lucky that like by making this book, it's helped me find like a real community of dead mom people or dead dad people or dead sibling or grandparent or whatever people. You guys are really special.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just wild. We'll be, FaceTiming, and then it'll just be like ding, 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 and like just people pouring out, how much you have meant to them, your book has meant to them. I mean, I just was thinking, like, what do you think 13-year-old you would think right now if she could see you right now?
I think, first of all, she would be very freaked out that her mom's going to die in 6 years.
God, I keep forgetting that. Okay.
No,
so there's that.
I mean, like, oh, this is so cool. Like, when I was growing up, I didn't think that, like, art could be a real job. I thought it was, like, a cartoon job. Like,
Totally.
Like a princess or, like, I don't know, ballerina.
Yeah, like an astronaut. Like, I know they're, yeah.
So the fact that, like, the thing that I was known for in my first grade class is the thing that I'm doing as a grown-up for my job is just so cool. And I feel really lucky. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the most deserving, so it just couldn't have happened to a better person. And again, it's just like, sometimes I think it's hard to remember what ages we are, because I can just picture you so easily, like, on your bed, like, doodling something, like, while just, like, watching, like, some kids show. Like, it was just always happening. And so the fact that, like, I come over, you're still doodling.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
it's not Angelica and Garfield anymore. Those are like my two big ones.
Totally. It has shifted. Now, what are you watching right now?
Oh, I mean, those are the things I would draw, but I did.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess.
No.
So wait, but tell me, what are you watching right now?
Well, I'm in the middle of a big Top Chef thing.
Okay. That's good.
Mostly because it's just comforting to have in the background. The show I'm obsessed with is Steven Universe.
I know you've been trying to get me to watch.
Like, I'm obsessed.
So
good.
Okay. Noted.
I find that, like, as an adult, I've gotten, like, back into cartoons. Like when we were
Yeah.
little and mom would say, like, I don't really watch cartoons anymore. I remember I used to think, like, why not? Like,
Well,
why?
that like makes me think, I guess graphic memoirs are not something that I am super familiar with. I'm not like, on my bookshelf, I don't really have any other than yours. And what made you feel like that's the way you needed to sort of format this? Like, could you have seen yourself just like writing the book, but then just like illustrating it like normal? I mean, to me, it makes me think of like how you would do like the cartoon strips and everything, like at Northwestern, and like, but just the way, I don't know, I guess you tell me, like, what made you think like, okay, graphic memoir, what was the inspiration behind that?
Well, it started because I took this class in college called creative nonfiction. It was like one of the English classes when I was like a junior or senior. It was like pretty soon after mom died, or
Yeah.
our mom, after our mom.
Our collective mom. Okay.
And I don't remember what the assignment was, but somehow the thing that I did was I made this essay that was in like graphic novel form, like a comic strip, but like long. It was 4 pages,
Okay.
and it was all about mom dying. And as I was working on it, I was like, this is how I feel best expressing myself. And I was majoring in screenwriting. So like I had really been pushing for like, yeah, I was into art when I was a kid, but now like writing is my thing because writing is a real job and whatever. And I was obsessed with Tina Fey, which is also in the book. But by getting to learn that like I can combine drawing and writing together, that's like, ooh, that's my special thing. Like it just feels easiest to express myself that way. So like a lot of my art that I do normally, like just one-off things, have like writing in them. Like it just that's like the way my brain goes. Like when I was working on the book, I tried writing like a manuscript first, like just only text, and I was like, oh, I'll change that into art like after the first draft. And it just felt so ridiculous. Like I felt like I kept falling into like literary cliches and just like not like it didn't sound like me.
Right.
It sounded like a generic like dead mom book.
Totally. Yeah, I feel like it's like something clicked and you were just like, this is the way that you must, like the story must be told this way for you. Like,
yeah, I think like if it were just like a regular book, I think I wouldn't have been able to like express it the way that that really like got it out of my system the right way. Like, I don't know, a picture is worth 1,000 words, but it is nice to like being able to like draw all these pictures of my mom and draw like what different scenes looked like. It felt like so essential to the process.
and did the process, I mean, just sort of piggybacking off of this, the process I feel like was pretty healing and for you. I mean, would you say that because obviously you've told me before, this is the book that you wish you had.
Mm-hmm.
And by you, I mean, same, both of us. We're like, if only this existed, that like, I mean, but so like, you're having this like influx of people saying how much it means to them. And at the same time, your whole process writing this book, how long did it take?
It took like
creating this book
around a year.
Yeah, I mean that year.
It was like Mother's Day to Mother's Day almost.
A Mother's Day sandwich, a hell sandwich.
Yeah, hell sandwich.
But like, what? I guess, do you feel different than you did, like in your grief journey when you started, and when you?
Yeah, I think I do.
I mean, I know it's not like, that like clear cut and linear, but just.
No, I think I do. Like when we were growing up, and we'd be all stressed, and mom or dad would say, like, write it down. Like, you just, like, make a list of all the things you're upset about.
Yeah.
Like, that's dumb. Like, that doesn't help. But, like, it does help. Like, it's just comforting. I don't feel like I have to, like, remember stuff so that I don't lose it because it's in here. This is a physical thing.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
it exists. There are, like, digital, like, files of it, PDFs that exist. So even if all the books are burned, and we
Forever.
have, like, an apocalypse, like, it still exists. And it's at, like, a real weight off my shoulders. It feels good, and it feels good to be able to, like, spread it around the world. Like, the fact that just people in places that mom never went know about her and think she's cool. That's real special. I've gotten some messages from people where they're like, I wish I knew your mom, or your mom sounds cool, or something. That's, like, literally, like, the exact best thing
Yeah.
to hear.
Yeah, I think, you know, one of the most heartbreaking parts of losing mom was meeting all these people and knowing that who, you know, are important to us,
Mm-hmm.
and then knowing that they're never going to get to meet mom. I mean, on top of all the other horrendous things about losing her, but like,
That was the worst part.
But like in the past 11 years, like we've made incredible relationships and friends with people, and it feels like if they don't get to know mom, it's like they can't really know me for some reason. I think like
I agree. Like, this, when people that I know, like my friends that I've met since she died, when they read the book and they say, like, I feel like I know you and your mom better, that also is like
chills,
so flames on the side of my
flames, chills on every surface. Like, I agree. I feel like it's deepened relationships, like even with just some of our mutual friends being like bringing up something that happened when we were like 6, and I'm like, wait, how did they? And it's from your book. It's just
that's super cool. And because it's like there are details in the book that I would not just like casually tell people in my life. I wouldn't be like, so I wasn't sure if I wanted to be in the room when she took her last breath or not.
Right.
Like, that would be real uncomfortable. I mean, like, honestly, I would love to have conversations like that with people, but it's rare to take it from brunch to that point.
It escalates real quickly.
Real quick. I mean, honestly, with us, like,
you're
it's
so
more
right.
likely for that to happen.
Totally.
But it's cool that, like, I can hand someone the book, and then in the, like, whatever 2 hours it takes for them to read it, which is like wild because it took me a full year of slaving to make it. That's another thing. But that, like, when they finish it, it's like they have absorbed all this information that I would love for everyone to know about me, and so I don't have to go through the work of, like,
that's
having these
so
uncomfortable
true.
conversations.
It's just like, hey, hi,
like,
Tyler, before we do anything else,
here's
the book.
Like, if that was like a way that one could live, and I could just like hand the book to people that I want to get to know before we like move on to the first big conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. Ooh,
that'll be your second book. Or like, I mean, the sequel will just be like, here are all the things I don't feel like saying out loud. So I put them in a book. All the skeletons in my closet. No, I mean, I think it can be confusing for some people because they're like, okay, what is this like cute pink book? It's about death. Like, do I want to, you know, is that like, obviously it makes a lot of people cry, but I think another thing is just there are light, funny, like, I mean, I was laughing for a lot of it. And like, obviously, like, I know a lot of like the little stories and behind the scenes stuff, but I guess, can you like tell us, I guess, or tell everyone out there more about how, like, you know, it can make people almost feel uncomfortable, I think, when we're so comfortable talking about mom, she's dead mom jokes, like,
Yeah, they're like, oh my, like,
Oh,
are
God.
you okay?
Yeah.
Like, is something wrong? Like, why are you laughing about it?
Right, like yikes. And it's like it's survival. And like I guess, yeah, I just thought when we were chatting about what we wanted to talk about, we would share some of the funnier stories of things
Yes.
that happened
Yes.
when our mom had just passed away. And one more thing I think about when we were really little, and you would think like mom dying would be the number one.
Like,
I will not go
die.
on.
Yeah.
Like, I remember telling mom and dad, I think like when you die, like I would just prefer to go with, you know. So
I don't remember you saying that.
I don't think I shared it with everyone, but I definitely felt very much that way. And then it's like, obviously this was the most earth-shattering thing in the world, but you wake up the next morning and it's like,
Yeah, like they're like the same TV shows are still playing. Like they're still birds in the sky.
Yeah, it's just
Can't, like, that raw period right after someone dies can last for a long time, but I don't think it's possible for it to last forever. Like it's like sprinting forever. Like at some point you have to stop and catch your breath.
yeah, it's not sustainable.
Yeah, it just isn't. So I mean, like, we did so much laughing when mom was sick and after she died, like, and I don't know that I would have been able to heal in the whatever way I have. I don't know how you like qualify that, but like without jokes.
Yeah,
Some amount of levity. I don't know if you remember when mom was in the hospital in the oncology ward wing, whatever.
Yeah.
There's that like whiteboard, and they would write like a quote of the day on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say?
Of course. No,
there was one day that said, laughing at the wrong times is still good for you. And I was like, yes! Like, it was really nice to see that from someone that wasn't literally in our family.
The notifications are popping.
Hey.
No, it's true. And you know, there are times where like, oh my gosh, right after it happened, I remember we were at the funeral and like, yeah, like you captured this beautifully in the book, but just these people clinging to us, and they're moist. They were all moist.
They were moist and a lot of
crying and sweating and hot breath, and it was just like just a lot. And we were like, "Thank you so much." It was just like, and like obviously we're kidding about like there were so many people there, it was unreal, but like we were just like making little light. They were like, "We're so sorry," and so there'll be periods of time where we're just like able to be giggly. And then I think with grief, it's like we both have times where we're like last week where it's like it feels like it hits you in the gut and you're like, wait, I want to text mom. Oh my God, she's dead. Oh my God.
And like the things that make you feel that way, I find aren't always the things that you think will make you feel that way. So it's not like, oh, I went past a graveyard and it just
right.
I think of death and blah, blah. Oh, Jen is asking what was that exact quote. It's laughing at the wrong times is still good for you. Yes. I might be remembering it wrong because it was literally 11 years ago, but that's what I'm thinking.
Oh,
also, hi, Jen.
Spencer came in clutch with that. We think. Oh God.
But like the things that make me start crying or get choked up or whatever are very often like little, like insignificant, weird things. Just like if like someone says a phrase that she would say or something, or like, I don't know, sometimes people make facial expressions that remind us of her. Like Cody and I were both, I'm calling you Cody to the audience. We were Instagram DMing each other last night this picture of Princess Diana when
I feel like I need to pull it up. Should I try?
Oh, if you can find it.
Okay, yeah, it's
It
my
was like she went against royal rules to take part in this like running race for her little
found it.
and she's like wearing this dress or skirt or something, and she's doing this like concentrating face, and she has sort of like a pointy nose like our mom, and something about that picture we were both like, that's mom.
Like it
And
felt visceral.
Yeah,
I don't know if
it
you guys
felt
can
like
see,
automatic.
but she,
But
yeah,
how she's going like this.
and like just the fact that she's like, and she won, like it's
Yeah, she's like trying real hard. She's not like, oh, this is a fun
dress.
but casual like little foot race. She's like,
She's like back off, even though his mom was like so refined and like so just like lovely, but she would be like, get out of my way.
Yeah,
like,
turn it on.
Totally.
But it was like in a cold way, like
very cold.
She never yelled, but it was just a look. Remember, he was on the phone and we'd start talking to her and she'd snap.
Oh God! And I remember when I was upset, I would snap back.
I feel like I snap at my cat.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, how is your cat Mitzvah doing with all of this right now? Does he feel really excited? Can he sense that, that something big has happened with you and your book launch?
I think the only thing that he cares about at all is Fancy Feast. So I guess like if the book does well, I'll be able to purchase more Fancy Feast for
I should start like a GoFundMe, but like not, but like just
for
Fancy Feast. That's so true.
But something that's nice about him is that he was born on Mother's Day.
Oh,
I mean, Mother's Day is different every year, but like
cool.
around Mother's Day, so it feels like a special little my Mother's Day present when I'm sad.
Oh, yeah, I need to adopt an animal because it's just.
I know you need to. I want them to be friends.
So I guess one of the things I was thinking, we both talk about and get kind of snarky with Spencer too about like how people will say, oh my gosh, you completely relate. I feel exactly the same. My grandma, my great grandma, my pet fish.
Grandma was 108.
Was 108. She just passed away. I can't go on. And here's the thing we were saying, we totally like, it's valid. All loss is like valid, but.
Yeah, like, of course it's sad to lose a grandparent or a great grandparent, especially if you're really close or if there's a smaller age difference. I don't want to take that away from anyone. Obviously, hopefully that's what people get out of the book, is that loss is like a big deal no matter what. But it ain't the same.
It ain't
sweetie.
The same, little sweetie. It's just not. And I guess, so I was wondering, how do you feel, because you did have the most important woman in your life die so early, other than me. Spencer's fine. She's nice too. How do you feel like you are different because you had that loss? Like, had mom not passed away, what are the things that you feel like have changed, either about you as a person, your perspective, how you feel about life? Like, what have you taken away, I guess?
I definitely feel like the big word is perspective. I sort of feel like I'm like at the top of a tall building looking down at the world instead of being in there. Like, so like sometimes I'll be like in the line at the post office or something and someone's getting really angry about like they're out of the stamps that they wanted or whatever, that type of thing, or like road rage, or like being at a restaurant and they mess up your order or whatever. And like, I cannot be upset about that. I mean, that's a sweeping statement. I get upset about plenty of small
Yeah,
things, as Cody will be able to vouch for.
same though.
Like, but in terms of like getting so upset in that way, I'm just like, things could and have been so bad that like, I don't know. I've been through so much that having a day where nothing happens is good. Like, yeah, I don't get bored really.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I think that's also like an anxiety thing because there's always something to be
Well, I
anxious.
was gonna say, I mean, I feel like also having this traumatic thing happen, we both freak out if dad texts us being like, please call me heart. Even
It's
like,
literally always like, he's like, can I show you the new sweater I got or something? Like, it's
like
literally never
sending me an
like,
article about like Disney Plus, and it
yeah,
makes me feel like I'm
literally like 100% of the time. I think it's something good. But like when mom was sick and I was in college, he would call me and he would either say, I have a little bit of good news, or he'd say, I have a little bit of news when it was bad. He wouldn't say bad news. So when I hear that type of thing, I'm just immediately like, so in our family, it's a lot of us like freaking out.
Is everything okay? Like, well, especially if my dad gets us all on a call at the same time.
Oh God, and he
Okay.
loves to do that.
He tells us like about a
It's always like, can I coordinate like when we're all gonna have dinner? And
yeah.
oh my God, I really thought someone was dead.
Oh, Ty, Crystal has a question too. I know like soon we'll transition into like full on questions like from the audience, but she was wondering if it was mom's idea like for our name, like, so Jessica said that she likes our names, and and was wondering if it was mom's idea to name us these names and if we ever hated them, but she loves them. Thank you.
It actually, well, okay, here's the scoop.
Here's the tea.
So
the piping hot tea.
So our parents were thinking of names for me when I was a baby, and they thought about Carly, which I found out later, when Carly was the name of the most popular girl in our school, and I was like, I could have been popular if I had that name. Anyway, so our mom said, what about Tyler for a boy? And our dad said, what about, he said, what about Tyler for a girl? And she was like, that's cool. And then she had me and then ended up having 2 more daughters, and she didn't want to give the other 2 daughters like super traditionally feminine names, because then it would sound like I was the son if it was like Tyler and Michelle and Amanda or something.
Right.
So yeah, that's all. I had a very short period where I didn't like my name when I was like 5 or 6 or something.
Oh, you were so little when you...
I was little. I had a boy haircut. I got my haircut really short in kindergarten, and everyone was like, you have boy hair, you have a boy name, blah, blah, blah. But now, like, I really think it's cool. I like that it's different. It makes it super exciting when I meet other people who are girls named Tyler. And Tyler's like a douchey name for a guy, but for a girl,
same with Cody.
cool.
I feel like Cody is like
a
black bro, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a preppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but oh my god, Jessica,
I'm so sorry. I'm literally just going by like what you
like Mary-Kate and Ashley.
I'm sure that your brother is great.
Yeah, no, Jessica, I bet your brother is fantastic. I think we're going off of truly like Mary-Kate and Ashley movies, and you know,
that's where we learned everything.
That is where we learned all of them. But oh yeah, I guess like our names, just wrapping it up, like no, I didn't like it at a certain time because I just wanted to be like, cute and like girly, even though like your name doesn't, but now I really love it, and
it's cool to be like a little unusual.
Yeah.
Like I was never in a class where I was like Tyler F.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
It was never Cody F. And I feel like we were never made to be like usual, you know? Like it made sense.
Or on the Enneagram, and the whole thing is that it's all about how you think you're different from everyone else
It's
in
true.
good ways and in bad ways.
It's true.
That is accurate about
Spencer just said when she worked at Starbucks, everyone thought she was wearing someone else's name tag. It's true. Okay, we're getting closer to time, but I guess I'm trying to think what we should go. Okay, this is not anything deep, but we were wondering, and if audience members, if you guys can also just like brainstorm a bit about this. Why do no Disney princesses, okay, not no, but few Disney princesses have moms? We were going
It's
through
very
this.
cute. It's
Okay.
not always clear that they're dead, though. It's just like they
Yeah.
never existed.
But like, okay, so Cinderella, no, she is the step evil.
Yeah, the whole story was because her mom
Died,
and her
right?
dad married the evil
And
son.
then Snow White.
Oh, Kayla Week says Walt Disney's mom died.
No
Interesting.
way.
How did I
Lost his
not
mom
know
in some
that?
kind of house accident that he. Oh my gosh! They all need a man to save them. True, but yeah, we were talking about like Snow White, Belle, Jasmine, Ariel, Cinderella. No moms.
Mulan has a mother and a grandmother. And I
love the grandmother. And Pocahontas has grandmother Willow.
but not a mom, right?
But no mom, right? I don't. Anyway,
I
if you guys can
definitely
clarify that for us. But I guess just
Merida
what
was a mom.
would
That's an emotional.
what type?
Merida from Brave has a mom.
I
But
know.
the whole plot is about her mom.
Chip the teacup doesn't have a mom. Is Mrs.
Okay,
Potts not his mom?
is Mrs. Potts his grandma or his mom?
Yeah, please
They
comment
seem
down below.
very old. That is unrelated to my.
I just felt like we had to touch on this.
No, I just meant if I go down a path of ranting about Mrs. Potts.
Oh no, please do. I mean, it's important. It's really important.
Alex says Mrs. Potts is his mom. He's like 6.
The
and
age
like
difference is
80.
questionable.
Yeah, maybe adopted.
Spencer caused a lot of drama with that one.
Oh, my friend Leah is asking if there's a local Chicago bookstore where people can buy my book. And actually, this whole thing is being hosted by Women and Children First, which is a bookstore in Chicago.
There she is.
And it's
Yeah.
great. And you should buy it there.
Buy it from us at Women and Children First.
Yeah.
And this is actually the perfect time. I'm going to transition and hand off the faux mic to Kaylee. She'll take it from here and answer some of your questions. But thanks for letting me hang out and chat. And thank you again for supporting my sister. She's the best.
Cody's the best.
Bye.
So our first question is kind of was asked from both Christy and Allie, and asking how involved was your family with the process of writing the book? Was it something that you shared with them as you were doing it, or was it when it was completed, like, okay, read it now?
Everyone in my immediate family, my 2 sisters and my dad, they were all kind of at different levels of being involved. Spencer read like almost everything as I did it. Cody read it at the end. My dad read it like towards the end. But the process was mostly like me asking them like clarification questions. Like, do you remember why we're at the hospital in the first place? And they were like, please, do we have to talk about that right now? Like, it was just bringing it down all the time. I mean, they were very excited and proud, but it may have been a little more painful for them than it was for me sometimes while I was working on the book.
Was there stuff that like you remember differently from them that then when they verified you were like, oh, I need to change this?
Only a little bit. We couldn't agree on what the doctor looked like who told us that our mom's cancer was terminal. I definitely thought he was Indian or Pakistani, and someone else thought he was something else, and I don't remember. But I just left I don't remember his name. There were so many doctors and nurses coming in and out. He was wonderful. But that was like the big one. I did mess up and make my Aunt Marsha's hair long because she's had it short and long. She kind of switches off. So I made it long throughout the book. And then I found a photo when I was done with the entire draft from that time where I saw it was short. So I went through the full book and fixed her hair every time she showed up, which was kind of a lot.
And then Anne asks, like, how long it took you to create it, which you kind of did touch on, but did you illustrate every single day until it was completed, or go back and forth between drafts?
I wouldn't say I illustrated every single day, but it was a lot. Like sometimes when people ask if the process was hard, like emotionally, I say it was more hard, just like it's hard to have a deadline and my arm hurt from drawing and stuff. But yeah, it was a lot of drawing. Towards the end of it, I like didn't take any weekends off, so I was just bringing my iPad with me everywhere. I was still doing stuff. I was just bringing my iPad. So if I was at like a family dinner and people leaned over, they'd see me drawing like a close-up of my mom's like cancer face with an oxygen mask on, and not love that. And I would forget how dramatic it was because I've been working on it like every day. Yeah.
And then let's see, Beth has a question asking, like, was there a part that was like your favorite to draw, like a section that you really enjoyed the most?
That's interesting. I don't want to give any spoilers, but there are some pages where it's like the whole page is one drawing instead of little panels. And those were extra special because it felt like you can really shove a lot of emotion into one picture. And I used the watercolor brush in Procreate to like make the sky or water or whatever, and I felt like more of like a painting time, like an emotional artist painting day than just like drawing a lot of little details. So those were really special to me. Yeah.
And then let's see, we have two more questions that we'll do. The one is Marie asks, what are some of your other favorite graphic memoirs?
Ooh. Well, one that like really inspired this book is by Roz Chast, who she's a cartoonist for The New Yorker. And she wrote this book called Can't We Talk About Something More Pleasant? It's like on my bookshelf somewhere. It's in the blue section. Mm-hmm. But she's in a different generation from me. So her parents were like elderly, and they both died. And the book is like about them like gradually getting older and losing different abilities and dying. But it's also like she's a New Yorker cartoonist and she's really funny. So the whole thing was kind of like funny and angry and emotional. And it was really special to me. And the whole thing is written like in her regular handwriting. It's not like in like comic strip, all caps. And I thought that was really cool and more personal. Mm-hmm. That was a big deal for me. I also love like everything Lucy Knisley does. Like obviously she's so cool. She came into my booth at a craft fair several years ago and started to introduce herself to me. And I went, I know who you are. And it was like, I looked like such a dork. I've like never done that with a celebrity before, but it was very cool. Her stuff is amazing. She does a lot of like autobiographical comics.
Yeah, I saw her husband and son on the bus one day, and I was like, I recognize you, yes. And that was really weird, but very fun.
Yeah, it's weird to see the like family.
Yeah.
Son is the cutest baby in the world.
Oh, I know, Pal's so cute. And then our last question is actually from your editor, Lori, asking, she would love for you to talk about what your next book will be.
Oh, Lori. Lori is the best person in the world. That wasn't the question, but I love her. So the book that I'm working on right now is a children's book for very little kids. We're thinking like pre-learning to read age, depending on how they develop. And it's all about body positivity and just like how there are lots of different kinds of bodies in the world. Like they all look really different from each other, but all of them are great. So the tentative title is Bodies Are Cool. That's sort of like a chant. That was like a stand-in title, but now I think it's going to end up being the title. Which is what happened with Dancing at the Pity Party. Dead Mom graphic memoir was like the stand-in subtitle, and then it just became the actual subtitle. But yeah, so body positive children's book. I feel like I could have really used that as a little kid. Like my goal is to get in there before kids develop any kind of negative feelings about their own bodies or about like judgmental feelings about other people's bodies. I just want to like slide in there and be like, wait, no, they're all good. So that's what I hope happens. And then on the horizon, far, far horizon, I'm going to be doing another book kind of like Pity Party, but about mental health and anxiety. So that's like my serious book that I am doing after the fun book.
Yeah, you need to be working on a fun book right now.
Yeah, it's we'll work on a fun book during the quarantine.
And then the last actual question was, what is your lipstick?
Ooh, fun. This is I've never like been good at makeup, so I really like Glossier because I feel like all their makeup is like so basic and like kind of sheer. I have it right here on my desk because I put it on right beside me. It's Generation G. The color is Jam. It's like berry color. I put on a ton of it so that it shows up more. But it's kind of like a balm feeling. But it's
super moisturizing. Well, thank you so much. It was a joy.
This was super fun. I was nervous.
This is like the easiest way to do this. Incredible.
Yeah.
For everyone, you can buy the book at womenandchildrenfirst.com. Follow Tyler on Instagram. All good things. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.